Hello, you're watching movie Snapshot scenes, and this is the summary of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Harry Potter's summer at the Dursleys' house was as miserable as ever. Locked away in his tiny bedroom, he missed Hogwarts and his friends terribly. The Dursleys had become even more intolerable, treating him like a prisoner. Then, on a particularly dreadful evening, something unexpected happened. A small, strange creature appeared in his room. The creature introduced himself as Dobby, a house elf, and immediately warned Harry not to return to Hogwarts. "Terrible things are about to happen," Dobby squeaked, his large green eyes filled with fear. Harry, confused and frustrated, refused to listen. But before he could ask more, Dobby caused chaos, dropping a huge dessert in front of the Dursleys' dinner guests. Furious, Uncle Vernon locked Harry in his room, determined to keep him from going back to school. Days passed, and Harry began to lose hope. Then, one night, a loud noise startled him. Outside his barred window, a flying car hovered in the air, driven by none other than Ron Weasley and his twin brothers, Fred and George. They had come to rescue him. Working quickly, the Weasleys pulled the bars off the window, and Harry climbed into the car. As they soared through the night sky, Harry felt free for the first time in weeks. They arrived at the Burrow, the Weasley family's warm and chaotic home. Harry was amazed. Everything was magical, from the self-knitting needles to the enchanted clock showing where each family member was. Mrs. Weasley scolded her sons for stealing the car, but quickly welcomed Harry like one of her own. He spent the rest of the summer happily with the Weasleys, playing Quidditch in the backyard and visiting Diagon Alley for school supplies. But trouble followed him there as well. In a bookstore, he had an unpleasant encounter with Draco Malfoy and his father, Lucius, who slipped an old book into Ginny Weasley's cauldron. Even worse, Harry met the arrogant Gilderoy Lockhart, Hogwarts' new defense against the dark arts professor, who insisted on taking a picture with him. As summer ended, Harry was ready to return to Hogwarts. But when he and Ron tried to board the Hogwarts Express, the barrier to platform 9 3/4 mysteriously sealed itself. Trapped outside, they made a reckless decision. They would fly the Weasleys' enchanted car to Hogwarts. It was a decision they would soon regret. Flying the Weasleys' enchanted car to Hogwarts seemed like an exciting idea at first. As the wind rushed through their hair, Harry and Ron soared over the countryside, following the train tracks below. But their excitement quickly turned to panic when the car began to malfunction. The engine sputtered, and the car jerked violently, losing altitude. As the castle came into view, they aimed for a safe landing. But things went terribly wrong. Instead of a smooth arrival, they crashed directly into the massive Whomping Willow, a magical tree with a violent temper. Its thick branches whipped furiously, smashing the car as Harry and Ron scrambled to escape. Just as they managed to get out, the battered car suddenly sprang to life, threw out their luggage, and drove itself off into the Forbidden Forest. Bruised and exhausted, the boys sneaked into the castle, only to be caught by Professor Snape. He was furious and eager to have them expelled. But thanks to Professor McGonagall and Dumbledore, they were spared, though they received a serious warning and a round of detention. Despite their disastrous arrival, Harry was thrilled to be back at Hogwarts. Classes resumed, and the new defense against the dark arts professor, Gilderoy Lockhart, quickly made an impression. A famous wizard known for his heroic adventures, Lockhart was charming but incredibly arrogant. He spent most of his lessons talking about himself rather than teaching real magic. Hermione, however, was captivated by him, much to Ron's annoyance. Meanwhile, strange things started happening at Hogwarts. One day, while walking down a corridor, Harry heard a mysterious voice whispering, "Kill! Time to kill!" He looked around, but no one else seemed to hear it. Troubled, he pushed the thought aside. Then, during a late-night trip through the castle, Harry, Ron, and Hermione stumbled upon a horrifying sight. The walls were covered in large, glistening letters that read, "The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware." Beneath the message, they found Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris, lying stiff as a board, apparently petrified. As students gathered, panic spread through the school. Something dark and dangerous had returned to Hogwarts, and it was only the beginning. The discovery of the chilling message on the wall sent shockwaves through Hogwarts. Students whispered nervously, speculating about the meaning behind the Chamber of Secrets. The legend, as Hermione soon discovered in an old book, told of a hidden chamber built by Salazar Slytherin, one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. According to the story, only the heir of Slytherin could open the chamber and unleash the monster within to purge the school of Muggleborns. This revelation sent shivers down their spines. If the chamber was truly open, someone at Hogwarts was in grave danger. But who was the heir of Slytherin? And what was the monster hidden inside the chamber? Meanwhile, Harry's troubles worsened. During a disastrous dueling club session, led by Professor Lockhart and Professor Snape, Harry was forced to duel Draco Malfoy. Malfoy sneered before casting a spell that summoned a large snake. The snake slithered menacingly toward a terrified Justin Finch Fletchley, a Muggle-born student. Instinctively, Harry spoke to the snake. "Leave him alone," he commanded. To his shock, the snake obeyed instantly. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at him in horror. Ron quickly pulled Harry away, his face pale. "Harry," he whispered, "you're a Parselmouth." Harry had no idea why. That was a bad thing, but Ron explained that speaking Parseltongue, the language of snakes, was a rare and dark gift. It was strongly associated with Salazar Slytherin and dark wizards like Voldemort. Soon, rumors spread that Harry might be the heir of Slytherin. As fear spread, another attack occurred. Justin Finch Fletchley and nearly headless Nick were found petrified in the corridor. Harry, unfortunately, was the first to discover them, standing over Justin's frozen body just as other students arrived. Accusations flew, and Harry found himself dragged to Dumbledore's office. Inside, he met Fawkes, Dumbledore's majestic phoenix, and the wise old professor himself. Dumbledore didn't accuse Harry, but asked a simple question. "Is there something you wish to tell me?" Harry hesitated, unsure if he should reveal the voice he had been hearing. But in the end, he shook his head. With the attacks increasing and suspicion falling on him, Harry realized one thing. He needed to find the truth before it was too late. Determined to clear Harry's name and uncover the truth, he, Ron, and Hermione set out to investigate. Their first suspect was Draco Malfoy. He had always boasted about his pure-blood heritage and despised Muggleborns. If anyone was the heir of Slytherin, it had to be him. Hermione came up with a risky plan. They would use Polyjuice Potion, a powerful potion that allowed someone to take the appearance of another person. However, brewing it was difficult and required ingredients from Snape's private stores. With careful planning, they managed to steal the necessary supplies, and over the next month, Hermione prepared the potion in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. Finally, on Christmas Day, they put their plan into action. Harry and Ron transformed into Crabbe and Goyle, Malfoy's 2 clueless henchmen. Hermione, however, had a problem. Her potion had mistakenly contained cat hair, turning her partially into a cat. Unable to join them, she stayed behind while the boys went to the Slytherin common room. There, they questioned Malfoy, who bragged about knowing that the last time the Chamber of Secrets was opened, a Muggleborn had died. But to their surprise, he admitted he didn't know who the heir of Slytherin was. Disappointed, Harry and Ron rushed back to the bathroom before the potion wore off. They found Hermione still looking like a cat, horrified at her reflection. Meanwhile, more attacks shook the school. Even Hermione became a victim, found petrified in the library clutching a small piece of paper in her hand. Harry and Ron were devastated, but her note held a crucial clue. She had written basilisk and underlined pipes. Realization struck. Hermione had figured it out. The monster inside the chamber wasn't just any creature. It was a basilisk, a giant snake. whose gaze could kill. The reason Harry could hear the voice was because he was a Parselmouth, and the reason no one had died was because none of the victims had looked directly at the snake. Now, Harry and Ron knew what was hiding in the Chamber of Secrets. But there was still one question left unanswered. Who had opened it? Before they could investigate further, another chilling announcement was made. Ginny Weasley had been taken into the chamber. With time running out, Harry and Ron knew they had to act fast. With Hermione's clue revealing that the monster was a basilisk, Harry and Ron now had a clear understanding of what was attacking students. But there was no time to celebrate their discovery. Ginny Weasley had been taken into the Chamber of Secrets. The school was in a panic, and Dumbledore had been removed from Hogwarts by the Ministry of Magic. Desperate to find answers, Harry and Ron decided to confront their last lead, Hagrid. Before he had been taken away by Ministry officials, Hagrid had left them a clue. Follow the spiders. Though terrified, they followed a trail of spiders into the Forbidden Forest, where they encountered a massive colony of giant spiders led by Aragog, a monstrous acromantula. Aragog revealed that he was not the monster in the chamber, but that he knew what it was. He also mentioned that the last time the chamber was opened, a girl had died in a bathroom. This confirmed their suspicions. Moaning. Myrtle was the girl who had died 50 years ago. Before they could leave, the spiders attacked, eager to eat them. Just when it seemed hopeless, the Weasleys' enchanted car, now living wild in the forest, sped in and rescued them. Back at Hogwarts, they rushed to Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. When they asked how she had died, she explained that she had seen two great glowing yellow eyes before collapsing. This meant the entrance to the chamber had to be in the very place she had died, in the bathroom itself. Their investigation was interrupted when Professor Lockhart appeared, trying to flee the school. The teachers had ordered him to rescue Ginny, but he was a fraud. He had never fought any dark creatures before. Furious, Harry and Ron forced him to come with them. Inside the bathroom, they found a sink with a small snake carved into the side. Harry spoke in Parseltongue, and at once the sink moved, revealing a dark tunnel leading deep underground. Steeling themselves for what lay ahead, they jumped into the tunnel, sliding down into the depths of the Chamber of Secrets. What they found inside would change everything. Harry and Ron landed in a dark, damp tunnel deep beneath Hogwarts. Lockhart, still trying to escape, grabbed Ron's wand and attempted a memory charm. But since the wand was broken, the spell backfired. The blast caused part of the tunnel to collapse, separating Harry from Ron. With no choice but to continue alone, Harry pressed forward into the heart of the Chamber of Secrets. The chamber was vast, lined with towering stone pillars, carved with snake designs. At the end of the hall stood a massive statue of Salazar Slytherin. In front of it lay Ginny Weasley, pale and lifeless. Kneeling beside her was a tall, dark-haired boy. He introduced himself as Tom Riddle. Harry demanded to know what had happened to Ginny, and Riddle revealed the horrifying truth. He was the memory of a younger Lord Voldemort, preserved in an enchanted diary. Over the past months, Ginny had unknowingly poured her thoughts and secrets into the diary, allowing Riddle to gain control of her mind. It was Ginny who had opened the chamber, released the basilisk, and written the messages on the walls. As Harry tried to wake her, Riddle summoned the monster itself. He spoke in Parseltongue, and from the statue's mouth, the massive basilisk slithered out. Its enormous, scaly body glided across the chamber, its deadly yellow eyes searching for its prey. Harry shut his own eyes, knowing that one direct look would mean instant death. Just as the basilisk lunged, a burst of fire filled the chamber. Fawkes, Dumbledore's phoenix, had arrived. The bird blinded the basilisk, scratching out its eyes, making its deadly gaze useless. Then, in a flash of light, the Sorting Hat appeared in front of Harry. Reaching inside, he pulled out Godric Gryffindor's sword. The battle was fierce, but with one final desperate strike, Harry drove the sword into the basilisk's mouth, killing it. However, one of its venomous fangs had pierced his arm, poison spread through his veins, and he collapsed. Riddle, victorious, watched as Harry weakened, but Fawkes came to his aid. The phoenix wept over his wound, and to Harry's amazement, its tears healed him. With renewed strength, he grabbed the basilisk fang and stabbed Riddle's diary. Black ink spilled out, and Riddle screamed before vanishing. Ginny woke up, confused but alive. Ron arrived just in time to see Harry standing victorious. Together, they escaped the chamber and returned to Hogwarts, where Dumbledore praised their bravery. The danger was over, and once again, Harry had faced Voldemort and won.